where brevity is paramount.
Hello and welcome to episode 18 of Chet and John's Reassuringly Finite Gaming Playlist. My name is Chet Roivers, with me as usual is John Denton.
Hello.
If you've not listened before, basically over the next 40 minutes or so, John and I are going to take it in turns to go through a top 10 list, which is the top 10 games, the 10 games we've been playing over the past week. We're going to work our way to our two number ones, which is the two games that we've been spending the most time with, and because we're lucky enough to work in the games industry, hopefully there's going to be it's going to be predominantly stuff that's new and upcoming. So yeah, let's do it. John, number 10.
My number 10 is Catapult King on the iPhone.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be enthused about Catapult King.
Yeah.
It's a Angry Birds, but instead of birds, you throw rocks from a catapult, and instead of it being side-on 2D, it's in 3D, and it looks quite nice. You're smashing knights off stupidly constructed buildings, I guess you call them, the exact same things that you smash the Angry Bird piggies off.
Yeah.
The problem with it being in 3D, you can't really judge the distance. You know, you can't judge the angle very well because you can't. It's really difficult to perceive the depth.
So when you say it's 3D, you holding the catapult in front of you, and then you
yeah, like a proper game.
Yeah.
You know, like a Xbox game. And it looks bloody nice, but it doesn't have a guide arrow, or guide parabola, I guess you call it, by default. So I just found it really excruciatingly difficult to judge what you're doing, and then you can get magic by doing quite well, and that means you can go into the menu and then unlock a guide. Arrow, parabola, whatever, but you run out of magic really quickly, and guess how you get more magic?
Oh, cash.
Yeah, cash for magic, cash for parabolas. So obviously I wasn't going to do that. So I just spent most of the time not aiming the stuff anywhere near where I needed to aim it, and thinking the game was a bit shit, which it is. It looks nice, but it's a bit shit.
Free, I take it.
No, it's like 69 pence.
And then they fucking fleece you again.
Yeah, but it's not built around that, but it's one of those surreptitious ones that I hate the most.
That sounds dry.
Yeah, don't get it. I know you won't, but I'm talking to the wider world.
Alright. Okay, cool. Alright, my number 10 is Batman Arkham City Armoured Edition on the Nintendo Wii U.
With the shiny new suit.
Shiny new suit?
Yeah, they've got new armoured suits, haven't they? That's why they're Armoured Edition.
I saw nothing like that. To be fair, there's a lot of Wii U games on this list, and that's the last one I played. I was in a hurry to leave. So, it was...
Weird that they spent so much time talking about it in that strange press conference.
Especially when they've got fucking Platinum working on Project P-100, which is... I'll get to that.
Oh, you played that?
Yes,
Sweet.
Twice. I played the demo, they moved me on, and then I came back and queued again and had a go.
That's what it's all about.
But yeah, Armoured Edition, it was very weird because Arkham City is a game I know so well. And it was they put me in a mission that I'd done, at least twice before, and I felt completely lost. It feels alien somehow. Visually, it's clearly not finished. It's a little bit sketchy. There's frame rate issues, and it looks really, really sort of... It looks like they've got a lot of work to do. It's the same game, but with the using the Wii U thing to do the scanning is quite neat. It's not bad, but the Batarang thing's just using it to... When you use the guided Batarang, you steer it. You can have the perspective of it on the Wii U tablet, and you can either use the gyroscope to move it. And if you want to do that, then you should be fucking sectioned, as far as I'm concerned. But so the default way to do it is to use the sticks, but you can't not look at the screen. So all you're doing is what you do on the PS3 or the Xbox 360, but you have to look down to do it, and that was just a little bit tiresome.
That's not what it's for. That's
no,
not what it's all about.
It's that was, like you said, it's sort of that's just like gimmicky as fuck, and that didn't work. The scanning...
I was just going to say, I think I said this to you outside of the podcast, that sort of stuff kind of made what is an amazing game feel cheap to me, and this is just me watching it happen on the press conference. Is that a fair thing to say? Is it cheapened it slightly?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know where I was. I was just like, what? Yeah, and it disjoints it from the rest of the experience. It doesn't feel organic. You don't, it's cool that your infantry's there, but when you're in combat, looking down and changing your infantry versus pressing pause and stopping everything and doing it, that wins.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll modify it further so that that's not the case. I don't know. I played it for literally about sort of 8 or 9 minutes. But yeah, I'm not massively.
It's such a weird one because who's going to buy it? Because surely everyone who wanted to play that game has bought it.
Who knows?
And we people. I don't know. It's just such a strange one to me.
Yeah, well, I am going to be very interested to see what else they do because when I first saw it, I was like, that's going to be the way to play it. But we'll see. Not impressed at this stage. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, shame. All right, my number 9 is another game I'm not impressed by. It's Resistance: Burning Skies. I was on a train this week, as I'm sure you were.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, I've paid a fortune for this thing, so I'm going to whip it out, the Vita, and play Resistance, because, I thought it's not a great game, but having like a full console FPS on the train, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I played it for about 5-10 minutes, and I was just like, you know what, I'd rather sit in silence and just sit on the train. That's how little I was enjoying it. So there's nothing hugely critical or insightful I can say beyond that, because all I was doing was turning a corner, shooting 3 of those fucking guys, Chimera guys, and then doing it again, and then again, and again, and I was just like, I don't want to do this. This isn't fun at all. The novelty's worn off completely. Nothing to do with the machine, but it's just not good enough. It's the most sort of 4 or 5 out of 10 game ever. And it's not from a great series, but the series makes this game look... I've said that the wrong way around. The actual series on PS3 is a hell of a lot better than this. This is a real... just feels like a real crappy version that's done on the cheap, which is pretty much what it is, because can you afford to do big budget prices for a Vita game? It's risky. It's risky.
Yeah, I've only dipped in and out of that series, and I just remember the first one. I was like, my mate had it, and he wouldn't shut up, and I'm like, but this is clearly they've wanted to do a Halo clone. Did it develop a personality after that, or was it just
number 2 was like a first-person Gears almost, not in terms of squad base or cover base, but just like really chunky enemies, loads of big bosses, loads of crap going on, and 3 I haven't played, but I think owes more of a debt to Half-Life 2. But yeah, I don't think it ever really found its own identity, and it was always playing catch up to better games. But they were fine. This isn't fine. This is pretty wank.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay, my number 9 is Scribblenauts on the Nintendo Wii U.
What's that one called?
Scribblenauts
World? Scribble...
Oh, they just introduced... I just got handed it and said this is Scribblenauts.
Oh, okay.
They may be calling it something else. I never really saw Scribblenauts on the DS, or they've done it on iPhone now, I think. I never really... It always... for some reason, I never got involved in it, and it's fucking cool as hell.
No, it really is.
Really, really impressed. I mean, it didn't help... I mean, it was all soured because I had the worst fucking stupid... just the arsiest twat showing me it.
Really?
At those sort of events, they hire people who do shit like that for a living, and sometimes they do modelling and acting, and this guy was just...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Biggest cock. I mean, he gave me the pad and he was like, use your imagination. I was like, what? I clicked on this little girl and like her kite's stuck in the tree, and I was like, he was like, use your imagination, anything, you can create anything. And I typed in vacuum cleaner, and he was like, he turned to the side as if he was addressing an audience and he was on the stage doing stand up. So what are you going to do with a vacuum cleaner? And I was like, suck down the kite or something. And he was like, he tapped me on the shoulder and he whispered, "Jetpack, mate, Jetpack." I was like,
Jesus.
You fucking little... Anyway, I did that, and then he kept trying to help me. I was like, I've got it, and he fucked off for a minute. And it's just really cool. I mean, there was some... Yeah, I mean, most people, I presume, know what the game is, but you're presented with a problem and you can create anything by typing it into a notepad. And hopefully, I'm trying to think of another example. It wasn't actually any gameplay. It was a static screen with like all these people milling around, and you tap on them and solve their problem.
Right, that's new. The old one sort of a specific scenario that you had to solve, and there were multiple ways of doing it, and then you could just fuck about with the game engine and create stuff to almost break it in many ways.
Yeah, see, I don't know whether this was just for display, because it just was like literally one screen, tap her, tap him, tap her. And then I suppose there was one, there was a mosquito. You tap the mosquito, it says, feed the mosquito. So for some reason, my brain, I wrote baby, and I dragged the baby down, and the mosquito wasn't having any of it. So I put it back, and then for some reason, I typed in corpse. And then my mate, who was making coffee behind me, who I didn't realise, went, "You're trying to feed the mosquito, not kill it, mate." I swear to God, there was almost a murder at Nintendo today. But yeah, it's a really fucking neat game, and I can't wait to see the actual game proper. I don't think that was it, but yeah, cool. It's just a fucking cool, neat little game.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah, wicked games. So my number 8. It's a tough list for me this week, because there's fuck all out. So. It's a game called Project 83113. It's a catchy name.
Yeah.
It's from NCSoft. It's an iPhone platformer. It's basically they've tried to make Lilo and Stitch platformer game. Little Stitch, is it? I haven't seen the film. I don't even know why I'm talking about it. Some like genetic experiment rabbit or something escapes from a facility. So it's a platformer, but instead of controlling it in a normal way, you kind of swipe in a direction and the little creature thing will run in that direction until you do something else. So you swipe up to jump, swipe down to slide. It's all right at first, it's quite a neat little control system. It's a little odd, but it works. And you kind of tap the screen to shoot fucking weird robot enemies. But after about 3 levels, it becomes unbelievably difficult. And you don't have direct aim of where you're shooting, so... you're just kind of at the mercy of the game a lot of the time, and you have to in-app purchases help you become tougher. It's really depressing. The whole scene, as I play more and more iOS games, there's so much potential for what can be done, and I love the fact that small teams and small studios can turn profits, especially people who've been made redundant from big games that didn't work out, and they're going and doing their own thing. But there's this real dirty side that when it starts infecting the game design itself is just so unpalatable. It's the whole arcade thing of games that were designed to make you keep chucking your money in. It's just that, but even uglier, I'd say, because at least an arcade machine was so obviously that, and you didn't have it linked to your credit card, so you had a 20p or whatever in your hand, or whatever you were given. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Rambling. Yeah. But here it's just dirtier.
It exasperates me so much. That's why I stay away from iOS as much as I possibly can, because it is just like so snide sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's fine for us because we're here to say it's bollocks, but a kid, maybe with a credit card linked up to the parent's phone or something, it's just
you hear the stories, don't you?
You do, but I mean, even not the extreme ones. I'm talking even a 69p buy of something that's not necessary just to. It needs to be regulated, I think. But there you go.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. But yeah, I guess that's why we're here to sift the wheat from the chaff or whatever.
Genuine. Okay, my number 8 is Pikmin 3 on the Wii U.
So this is the one everyone was excited about at first.
Yeah. What, are they not excited about it now?
I think everyone was so hyped at the beginning of that conference, and people got into the danger of reviewing what is basically a marketing meeting, a marketing presentation, which all of these E3 things are. So, I mean, you can't really expect to be entertained by these things. They are generally entertaining, but I think people take them a bit too seriously. So people got very excited about the fact it kicked off with Pikmin 3, and they're going, right, and then there's going to be Zelda, then there's going to be a new Mario, then we're going to see what Retro's doing. And Nintendo didn't do any of that. They did what they wanted to do, and that's their way of trying to sell the thing. It's then up to the press to disseminate that information and turn it into what is going to be interesting for readers. So why they were getting pissed off about what was happening later was kind of bullshit, and the fact that a lot of people now seem to be a bit down on Pikmin 3 because it's probably now the biggest game on Wii U, as opposed to the second fiddle that was going to be cool but not the big gun. is completely unfair on the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't had that backlash at all.
I've been very involved in listening and kind of being involved in the podcast scene and the Twitter scene post E3 and trying to pull my ideas together for a few articles, basically around what I just rambled about then.
Yeah. I didn't get caught up in that. I mean, I do understand why people think this year's E3 was underwhelming, because if you compare it to like the way they announced games in the past, I mean, there's all those famous ones like Halo 2 and Twilight Princess where, there's a sense of event and they deliberately sort of milk that. But anyway, Pikmin 3. I'm not going to say much about it because it is just Pikmin, but just Pikmin is just fucking great. And I played it for the timeout clock was on about 8.5 minutes or something, and it was just fantastic. It doesn't feel the need to use the Wii U screen for anything unnecessary. So you play with the Wii remote and nunchuck, and you have the Wii U tablet in front of you as like a map. But so when you want to check, it's actually really useful. At first I was like, why isn't it using the tablet? And then if you need to know what's happening sort of on the other side where your Pikmin have sort of run off somewhere, you can move there really quickly by using the touchscreen, and then the second you press anything, any movement of the thumbstick on anything on the nunchuck and Wii remote, you can zip straight back there.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. It's just great. Pikmin's great. There's not a lot to say. It's so immediately enjoyable, and it's just like having dogs, because it's like having a dog. There's something about the whole Pikmin experience. It's like having having these like people that think you're God. There's nothing. The rock Pikmin in you. They're just like, you can use them. They're really powerful for smashing down walls. They do it much faster than the red ones, but they get. For some reason, they catch fire really easily. So there's this bit where you're walking over these hot coals. You have to kill these flaming beasties with the red ones, and then that puts them out. And then you send in the rock ones, and they take the bodies. But it's if you know what Pikmin is, well, I assume you do. It's just more of the same, and brilliant. Can't wait
I'm well up for more Pikmin. I only played Pikmin 1, and that was when was that? That was a long time ago.
You didn't play Pikmin 2?
No, I didn't play Pickers 2. I don't know why.
It's so much better. It's like a quantum leap in quality and size. I will say it looks great. I mean, it just looks. Obviously, it's so nice to see that much going on in a Nintendo game, because normally the hardware's been sort of restricted. And the little Pikmin are slightly. The rock Pikmin, especially, they've got their faces all look individual. They're all slightly different shapes and stuff. So when they're all standing there looking at you, waiting for instructions, it's just like, oh, look at you little fuckers. But yeah, I can't wait. It's great. It's really great.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the machine. I'm sure you've got plenty more games to talk about later on in the list. But yeah, the backlash has annoyed me. I've talked about it too much already. But it saves me talking about my number 7 game, which is just boring me even to talk about it. So I apologise. I'll get out of the way quickly. It's called Euro Soccer. It's on the iPhone. It's a very, very competent FIFA clone, basically. On the iPhone, even has commentary, very nice production values. It's $150. You're mad if you're playing fully formed football games on an iPhone instead of on a console, but if that's what you want to do, this is a pretty decent one. And if you're kind of all wrapped up in Euro 2012 fever, then there are worse ways to spend $1.50, but there's a much, much, much better football game on the iPhone, which I'll talk about later, and you should probably get that instead. But there's nothing to talk about.
Is there no ganks in the... I assume it's not commentary from a commentator?
Yeah, I think it actually is. I don't know which one. It's one of those voices that I recognise. It's either someone doing a very good impression of him, or it's actually him. But the commentary's fine. The production values are really good for a $1.50 iPhone game. I was very impressed, and you can string together nice little moves, and it's good. It's good, but it's just it is what it is. There's nothing interesting to say really.
Okay, fair play. Who publishes it?
I don't know.
Okay,
great job. Done a great job here.
Okay, no, I just didn't know if it was like from.
It's not EA or anyone like that. It's like Dave Interactive or something.
Okay. Okay, right. My number 7 is New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the Nintendo 3DS. Again, I'm not going to say too much. It's a Mario game.
Right.
I played through 3 levels. 7 or 8 times I was struck by that's a really, really clever idea. It's a really very well designed bit of platforming. There's all this, there's not too much that's new. There's these new yellow pipes that you go down, and then you're given the chance to headbutt a switch, and then like coins rain down. But that's the one thing that I took away from it, and I think I saw someone say this. It's just a fucking coin fest.
What's that all about? There's loads of coins, isn't there?
Just, I mean, the amount of coins. I was too wrapped up in the game, which is says a lot about how good it is, to actually pay attention to how many coins I had. But honestly, it is just non-stop coin. I mean, there's coins just flying around in like circles that you're supposed to chase after, and after a while, you're like, why is it telling me to fucking? It's so ridiculous. I mean, they've got to call it Super Mario Brothers coins or something, because
is there not a coinish subtitle in there? I thought there was, like Coin Chase or Coin.
Not to my knowledge. But if they don't do that, they're crazy. I don't know whether this is a one-off thing or it's to make it really easy, because you've got extra lives coming out of your fucking arse after the 3 lives I had. I mean, I didn't count them, but you just saw those coins racking up, and I mean, it's ridiculous. You headbutt one of those P switches where before you'd have to go and fight to get the coins. Here, it just rains. It literally, they rain out of the top of the level, and you just like, there's so many you can't get them all. There's a new gold Mario who goes gold, and he fires his fireball, and it turns all bricks into coins. Surprise, surprise. It's a coin fest, but very, very fun. I want to see what the hell's up with that.
Do you reckon there's some sort of comment about how much cash they're making with Mario compared to every other fucker out there? A real arrogant statement. This society, all your studios are closing down, but this is what we do. We're Scrooge McDucking this motherfucker.
That would be awesome. But I want to see if it's just to try and make it extra easy, or whether it serves some purpose with the gameplay. I don't know. But very fun. But aren't they all?
Yes. So my number 6, iOS again. Apologies. Talked about it last week. And my little piece went up on Eurogame this week as well. So it's Ring Fling. I don't know if you got it after me talking about it last week.
I forgot. I will get it.
Yeah, it's just really, really fun when you play it with another person on an iPad. Mixed between... what did I call it last time? Mixed between air hockey and Pong, I guess. Just flinging these little rings at a funny shaped puck, trying to fire it into the other person's zone. It kind of looks like the type of thing that would be made out of plastic in about 1992 and would be advertised on Saturday morning when you're watching the cartoons, and you'd want to get it, but then you'd play it for a bit and it'd be shit. But that's the beauty of the iPad. It doesn't cost very much, and it's a hell of a lot easier to set up and way more immediate. Great fun, Ring Fling. Yeah. I'd recommend it to anyone. It's great fun.
Is it at all playable if you don't have an iPad and you only have an iPhone? Is that worth doing?
You can play it with 2 people, but the real fun is getting more than 2 people around the iPad. But you can definitely do it with the iPhone. Just sit there, pew 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 pew. You probably play like 5 games in a row, really intense, bit of banter, then put it away and play it again next day. But that's perfect iOS gaming, really, for me.
Yeah. I will do that in the week for sure.
It's wicked fun.
My number 6 is Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the 3DS.
This is the one on the 3DS I'm pumped for.
I mean, my problem is that this is the 3rd time I've played this demo. I played it at E3 last year. I played it at the beginning of this year, and I played through it again. But it's great. I mean, Luigi's Mansion was one of those great games that never got a fair whack, and it was, as far
Everyone
as
said it was too short, didn't they?
As far as I'm concerned, that is the birth of this whole opinion that the duration of a game equates to how much, whether it's worth the money. Because that was when it first started. I remember Ian Lee was on TV talking about it on that Thumb Bandits program, and he was like, I want more for my money, how dare you? And everyone started. Before that, I don't ever remember people saying the game's too short, don't pay for it. But it was all people. It never got a fair shake, Luigi's Mansion, and that was really annoying me, because it was just it was shorter perhaps than like a Mario game, but it was just pure joy from start to finish.
It's just ideas. It's just every room's an idea. Loved it.
I mean, my memory of Luigi's Mansion is not brilliant, but I don't remember it being as charming as the 3DS one is. It's ridiculous. I mean, even just the little way Luigi shits himself every 5 minutes, and that little weird sort of wobbly walk he does. But there's just little jokes in it. Like before he goes into a room, there's a couple of bits where you look in through the window, and you use the gyroscope to look around, and there's just ghosts dicking around. There's this one bit when they're in this antique car in a room, like pissing around, winding each other up, and then you look out the window, and then they're playing like ping pong.
That's what you want.
Exactly. It's just pure. It's not even first party Nintendo. I think I can't remember who was developing it. I forget. But they've got pedigree. So whatever they've done previously was awesome. I can't wait to get further than the first fucking bit, because I've done it 3 times and it's fun. It's still fun now. But yeah, God, that's just going to be a fucking cracking game.
When's it out? It's out this year, isn't it?
They say so, but it's not been confirmed, so you never know. But it's been in development for that long. They're going to smash that one, no doubt.
Yes, good old Luigi.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, it's me, isn't it?
Yep.
My number 5 is Pixeljunk 4am. I've been playing a bit more of that. Again, just kind of recommend that everybody. You said it yourself. I think it's worth finding out. Worth paying the £6 it costs to find out if it's for you.
Yeah.
You know, like you said with Journey and some of these games with such artistic merit. You know, is it a game? I don't really enjoy that argument as far as I'm concerned. Anything that's on these machines, just call it a game. It's just a semantic argument. Brilliant, intuitive, interesting, ambitious music, semi-creation tool, semi-manipulation tool. Talked about it at length in previous podcasts, so I won't bang on about it much more. But yeah, I find when I've got a bit of downtime and I want to, oh God, I sound like a twat, kind of centre myself. Does that make me sound like a twat?
No, not really. I know what you mean, because there's been a couple of instances where I've come back and I've just thought, fuck it, there's nothing I enjoy more than sticking that on.
Yeah, it takes my mind off whatever the hell's going on in my life. You know, sometimes you can work out to do that. Sometimes you don't want to have to put yourself through any physical exertion to be able to close your mind down, and it's a really nice way of doing it, I find. And it's nice with a drink in your hand.
Yeah, indeed.
No, everybody should get it.
Oh, it's great. Have you tried it with 2 wands?
I've not actually, which is stupid because I have 2 wands.
So do I, and I haven't done it either, but I will have to do that just to see if it might completely fuck it, I don't know.
It's definitely worth trying. All right, I'll try that for next week and then talk about it next week. People probably don't even care.
Cool.
But that's what's going to happen.
Okay, nice one. Okay, my number 5 is Zombi U on the Nintendo Wii U.
So, I'm intrigued by this because, it looks interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't intrigued because I saw the only hardcore game that's I believe is going to launch with the machine, and all I kept thinking is Red Steel, and plus it's Ubisoft as well. No, it is really, really, really cool actually. Really.
I'm hearing it has some kind of Dark Souls influence. Is that right?
I don't. How would in what way? I don't.
Someone said that if you die, you go back to the beginning, and you have to go and find yourself as a zombie.
That's kind of, but you're not yourself. That's a really cool. Actually, I want to see what they do with that, because basically, you as soon as you get munched once, you're dead.
Right.
You've only got one sort of get out of jail free card, which is this syringe that you sort of whack into the zombie's neck when he's about to bite you. But yeah, one bite, you're down, you're dead, and then it takes you to another part of the city, and you're a completely different character. And then you can go and find where your body was and loot them and get all your stuff back, but you're a different person.
Okay.
And I want if they do something really smart, like there's only a finite number of characters that you can be, and if you waste too many, then you won't be able to progress. Something really, really sort of potentially irritating, but a Dark Souls-esque, just sort of putting you really on the back foot constantly. I think that could be really interesting. But yeah, it works really well. The bits of it reminded me of Condemned. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't ready for it to be as sort of full on as it was. There's this bit where you're going around the school and it's sort of very, very dark. You buy a flashlight and stuff. And it was reminding me of Condemned, which was quite a surprise. But and it uses the tablet sort of not over the top. Scanning, again, in the same way as Batman, you scan the entire environment. You can turn 360 degrees around a room when you're standing in it, which is really neat. And then you find something, you tag it like in Metroid Prime, and you sort of scan it, and then it shows up on your map. The only other time I used it, when you either loot a body or go into find a box, the screen will stop being first person. It will go into a canned animation of you rumbling through something.
Right.
Then the inventory is on the screen. You pick what you want to take from, say, like a crate or something, and then you shut it again, and then you're back in the game. But you have to be very careful that there aren't zombies in the area, because then you're completely exposed and you're basically dead. And it was very loud where I played it, so I didn't get to see how the sound. Because if the sound's really effective and you suddenly hear like something rustling in the background, you'd be like, "Fuck!" And you can jump back out.
That actually made me scared just then.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, it's because I was playing it in the fucking bright place, and it was really noisy, but there was moments of real tension from that. And what was the other thing that was really effective? There's a crossbow, which is neat, where the guns are just guns, but you can hold up as soon as you equip the crossbow, you hold up the the controller, and then you've got like a sniper vision on this crossbow.
Right.
And it's actually really cool. You line it up and then you zap it, and it's not overdone, and you don't have to do that. I really like that about it.
I'm intrigued, definitely.
It's promising, and surprisingly bloody. There was one other element that really, really surprised me, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it's very promising, and potentially, a bit of a hit.
As it looks, it looked nice.
It does. I mean, it didn't. It looks all right. It looked pretty good. It looked like a 360 or a PS3 game.
Yeah.
And it was. I'm annoyed. There was something that really impressed me. Something kind of sort of dark and very, very sort of snide about the way that it made me feel on edge. But maybe I'll bring it up again sometime. But yeah, promising, definitely.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting excited about the Wii U. You're doing a good job.
I can't wait. I can't wait for it now.
Good job getting me excited.
Cool.
So my number 4 is Virtua Fighter 5. I've been playing some more VF5. It's free for people who've got the PlayStation Plus subscription. Have you got that? I don't have that.
No.
But I think I'm going to get it because they've got a bunch of free, like, really good games on there. And you pay, like, it's less than a Netflix subscription, I think, and you're just getting free games constantly. Like Little Big Planet 2, Infamous 2, this Virtua Fighter's on there. It's like, damn, that's not bad for $5 a month.
Isn't it like Xbox Live price, 40 quid a month?
Yeah, 40 quid a year.
40 quid a year? Oh,
Yeah.
It's a year, isn't it? What am I talking about? 40 quid a month? Fucking hell.
Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's less than Netflix, and that first chunk of free games that you get is amazing. But anyway, I already had VF5, and just been playing a bit more. Been playing online now. The servers are filled out. I'm not as good as most people who play Virtua Fighter, which is always depressing when I'm playing against the computer and I start to think, oh yeah, I'm getting my game good here. I'm improving my game. Then you play online, and I don't think it's so much a matter of skill, although it definitely is. It's so much of it's a matter of time training, and I just don't have. I always think, I'm going to get good. I'm going to train myself at this fighting game, whether it be Street Fighter, VF, or whatever. And then after a little while, I get to a point of kind of diminishing returns, and I think this is a utterly pointless and fruitless exercise. I could be doing something real with my life instead of training at a fighting game. If you're going to go on and play in tournaments, that's a cool, fun thing to do, and I don't hold it against anyone who would do that. But ultimately, I'd be doing it for almost no reason at all, just to either get good against faceless people online or nothing. There's no real merit to doing it.
Do you enjoy playing it online? I mean, that's the only thing that matters.
Yes, I do. And the good, unlike, I mean, the last fighting game I played online a lot was Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and even though it was fucked, even when I wasn't struggling too much with that, getting beaten on that was extremely frustrating because a lot of it was juggle based, and I hate getting juggled apart. VF has juggles, but it has like quite slow launches, so you know that you know not to get caught by them, and they only ever take off maybe a third of your life rather than 2/3. So it's not like game over, and you can. Yeah, I do like playing it online, even when getting beaten. But I'd rather play someone on my level in real life, repeatedly. But these things are getting harder and harder to do.
Yeah, true.
Just in circumstance. But yeah, the game is absolutely fantastic, and I'm glad to see the 9 I dropped on it was reciprocated by Eurogamer and a few other places as well, because I do really think it's a special game.
Okay, I do have to try the trial because I'm so ignorant of Virtua Fighter that I essentially don't even know what it is.
It's interesting that in Martin's review on Eurogamer, he almost echoed my main sentiment that the whole idea that it's impossible or difficult to get into is actually a fallacy, and it's difficult to get very good at it, but it's definitely not difficult to get into. So yeah, it's very, very similar sentiment. So yeah, it's definitely not just me thinking that.
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna get the trial at the very least. My number 4 is Project P-100 on the Nintendo Wii U.
This is the one.
It's the one. This is the one. Even when I saw that gameplay video that came out at E3, in which I defy anybody to understand what the fuck is going on. Like I said, I played it. The demo lasted 10-12 minutes, and then I sort of went and did it again. Platinum, they're my boys.
Yes.
The thing that Platinum make games that do chaos better than anyone else, and put you in a position where you can sort of maneuver through it and know what you're doing. A friend of mine came around when I was playing Vanquish just after it came out, and he was just like, "How the hell do you know what's going on?" I'm like, you have to play it. And when you put after, I'd say it was less than a minute. Once you get your hands on it and you start playing it, like it's just second nature straight away. It's just pure brilliance.
So what the hell is it?
There's an element of Pikmin to it. Basically, you're this little band of guys, and as you're walking along, you just get into loads of fights, and you're in that ridiculously colourful Toy Town type land. There was no story. I didn't understand what was going on, but you're this little band of guys, and if you see these sort of pedestrians in the street, you can just go and sort of recruit them into your little gang. And you, how best is it's like a fighting game. You say there's a bad guy that comes up, you start whacking him. The more you whack him, the more the meter goes down. So in order to get that back, you have to do a group attack repeatedly, which isn't as powerful, but it builds the meters back up. And there's a dodge move, which sort of is like one of those what are those springs things that go down a fucking staircase? Slinky, yeah. They bounce around like that. It's really fun. I haven't read a review of it, so I would really like to see how people have been able to articulate how actually sort of deep and yet ridiculously simple it is.
Are you using the tablet to create these shapes?
No, you don't. What shapes?
Because it looked like they turned into different things as a group. So I figured maybe you were drawing that on the tablet.
No, but I had on the build that I played, there was 3 different weapons which you could switch between, and the way you did that was you made a really, really quick, like an L shape on the stylus was one, an up movement and a circle, and also you can sort of draw a circle on the touchscreen, and then your guys will form into like a semicircle in that shape. That's what I meant. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. I didn't actually figure out what that was for at that stage because there was no one there to explain it to me. But
where was your mate?
Downstairs. Lucky he wasn't spitting teeth out. You draw this. When you get them to a circle, you can sort of bunch them over pedestrians and pick them up. It's so hard to describe, but it's so fun. It is so much fun. And the first time I got to a certain point, the second time I basically completed the demo. It doesn't overuse the stylus. The stylus is there to flick between weapons and stylus. What am I saying? Stylus. The screen. Yeah. The screen on the pad. The only time, aside from that, it uses it is when you go inside a building, and then it'll because the perspective can't see inside the building, so you'll have like a third-person perspective of the main guy on the screen, where you solve a little puzzle, you'll open a garage door, and then you're back on your way. And it's also like it's so chaotic. There's a boss battle that we did, and there's like fucking attack helicopters flying around and jets fly. I mean, it's just like absolute madness. And it's really, really nice to see that a Nintendo console being able to sort of give you that kind of experience, because that's where they've always been lacking. And it's madness. I should really have thought how best to describe it before we fucking started recording this, but it's that if that game isn't a proper 9 out of 10 belting son of a bitch must-have game, I don't know what I'll do. Kill myself, probably.
Yeah. Everybody should go and check out the gameplay video if they missed it, because they didn't show it at the conference, did they? So Project P-100.
P-100, yeah. It's going to be fucking great, I have no doubt.
Yes, Platinum and Alchemia, they know what they're doing.
No doubt.
Talking of Japanese development studios, God, that was tenuous. Pro Evolution Soccer 2013.
Oh, wow.
How do you say it?
I still call it Pro Evo. So
no, I mean 2013. Doesn't matter.
I never. In polite conversation, the new Pro Evo. Why would you ever say 13?
So regardless, Pro Evo PES 2013. It's all about the first touch and the dribbling, which is very similar to what FIFA 13 is all about.
Yeah.
I played maybe 6-7 matches at a preview event up at Konami yesterday, in fact. And we got to play as Barca, Real Madrid, and a couple of other Spanish teams. And it's the best one. I can already tell it's the best one of the generation. It really feels like the foundation that they laid down in 2012 has been built upon, and it's a really sort of fast, fluid, competent football game that still retains that PES magic. The kind of sense of drama and unpredictability that it's always managed, even back in the days when it was IS Pro back on the PS1. This first touch and dribbling stuff is really cool. Now you can You've always been able to do this. Press R2. I was playing on PS3. You can press R2 exactly as you receive the ball to kind of do a perfect first touch. But it was something that was never in any of the manuals or anything like that. I just worked it out one day back on the PS1 years ago. Now it's a bit more explicit. So you can take the ball in with R2, but you can also use the right click R3 to do like flick first touches. So you start combining those two. And you can do ridiculous stuff like receiving the ball into feet and flicking it over your own shoulder and spinning around the other way. Try it with a crap player and it won't work, but try it with the Messi or Ronaldo and you can do something incredible. But you need great timing and kind of your own skill to be able to do it as well. So it's not like some crappy cheat mode where suddenly every player is, God from a Nike advert. The rest of it was just the passing's really nice and fluid. Still had some problems with the keepers running out the wrong angle, which was a big problem in 2012. Hopefully that will get fixed. And yeah, I mean, the kind of explanation that I got when I went in, there was no presentation or anything like that. I kind of got a sheet telling me what had changed, and it was kind of hard to understand. I guess it had been translated from Japanese, so I'm basically, my impressions are exactly my own. I haven't been told what's new, really. There seemed to be a bunch of new stuff with manual control, which I've never really bothered with manual control. Apparently, some people are into it, but I don't really think, that's not really the way to play. That's not how most people play. But yeah, I think it's going to be a real good fight this year. I'm sure FIFA will outsell it by a ton, but it's good to see that they've not given up and that, they're fighting hard over there at Konami to bring the prestige back to what was, with Metal Gear, their primary series.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, although I didn't think it was as good as FIFA 12, I thought last year's game was great. So
yeah, it really was.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't played it yet, but yeah, I think that makes this competition, the fiercer it gets, the better both games are going to get anyway. So
yeah, I mean, I scored a goal with Ronaldo that was just like out of this world. Beat two men, did a little backwards forwards trick between two, left them for dead, and then as the guy brought his keeper out, I just scooped it over him. Not even a chip, just a scoop. And I was playing with Nick Cohen, the freelancer who used to write for the Telegraph. His face, he just wanted to go and die. It was a wonderful moment.
Okay, bizarrely enough, my number 3 is FIFA 12. I won't say anything. I'm continuing because the Euro's on at the moment. I'm loving the Euro, the add-on or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's getting exhausting playing against Spain, and it showcases the game at its worst because I've been beaten by some people who were. I'm not very good at FIFA, but people who are terrible at it. Just because when I clear the ball, it lands right at one of their players' feet. Every time you lose, if there's a ball in the air, they win it. It's a series of sort of ways of fucking you over. You don't feel like you're playing against a better team even. It just feels like you're being handicapped. Yeah. So I might just start playing in Spain. But and again, the replays thing just continues to bother me. It pisses me off. It's just they should do it so that if you want to watch a replay of a goal, the other player goes back and just looks at the halfway line ready for kickoff for the next bit. Because it is just like, here's an opportunity for you to be a little bit of a dick, and everyone takes it.
Sometimes people just want to see the goal again. I like to see the goal again. Even when I concede, I like to see their goal again.
Do you?
Yeah, but it's the football fan in me. I just like the aesthetic quality of a good goal.
How often are they good goals, though?
In FIFA, rare. Not enough, which is the problem. In Pro Evo all the time. But, it doesn't bother me. Never watch the second replay. You're not allowed to watch the second replay unless it's like a goal of the season.
You and
I differ in that respect.
Yeah, but FIFA 12 still, I'm loving it. There you go.
Right, so number 2 for me is still on the football tip, but that kind of makes sense with all this Euro 2012 stuff. And I guess if you're listening on the day this comes out, England, so come on England. Oh dear, it's depressing.
Yeah, that was dry.
Yeah, that really was depressing. I just felt like I needed to say it. I needed to get it out of my system. So this game is fucking dangerous. It's called New Star Soccer. I've talked about it before, but I never really gave it the chance. And now it's sunk its teeth like very little else. It's just bloody brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And it's the guy's making a lot of money off it. Finally, he's made 5 new Star Soccer games on PC over the past decade or whatever. Finally done the latest one on iOS, and it's taken off. Man, it's so fun. It's so fun. You play as one person, create yourself, Denton, I am. You get drafted to some crap conference team, and basically it's a combination of a really kind of soft, light RPG and a kind of flick and drag iOS game, but turned into football. The match plays out like Football Manager with commentary, and then when you get the ball, it cuts to the pitch, and all you've got is the ball on screen, and like it might be a situation where you're supposed to pass it, so you've got 2 of your teammates, and then there's some like opposition players, and you have to drag a little arrow on screen at the angle that you want to do in the power, and then after that a ball will appear on screen that might be bouncing, it might be dropping, it might be rolling, and you have to hit the screen exactly where you want to hit the ball. So obviously if you hit it at the bottom of the ball, it's going to go high in the air. If you hit it towards the left or right, it's going to curl. For some reason, even though it looks and everything about it is extremely basic, it manages to capture the feeling of playing well or playing badly in a football match amazingly. And if you do badly, the fans will hate you, and the boss will hate you, and they might, you might get dropped, you might get transferred. You play really well, and everybody loves you. You get girlfriends. You can buy loads of cool stuff. You buy more cool stuff, then shady people try to, get you to. We try and bribe you to fix matches. It's just so fun, and it's so fast that you finish a match and you're like, oh, okay, one more. Yeah, I'll do one more. Yeah, I'll do one more. And then 2 hours have gone. Mate, it's so good. It's so good.
But is there any appeal to someone who doesn't like football?
I think there's 100% appeal to someone who doesn't like football. I don't think you need to like football in the slightest. I think you need to like football less than you do to enjoy FIFA, and you enjoy FIFA.
Okay.
There's a 10-match free trial, and then it's 69p if you want to continue playing the career mode. It's so fun.
Do they try and stitch you out of more money?
No. There are in-app purchases to buy different pitches, and you can buy the in-game currency with in-app purchases, but you absolutely do not need to. It is a genuine game from a genuine developer, and I'm very, very happy that he is doing well, because it deserves to, because he's made a brilliant iOS game. 5 out of 5.
Wow, okay, right. Oh, that's another one.
So fun.
I should sit here with a checklist, really.
That's number 1, to get that.
That's number 1?
No, that's not my number 1.
Oh, right.
The iOS crap that I tell you to get, that's number 1.
Okay. Okay, right. My number 2 is Heroes of Ruin on the 3DS. Do you know anything about it?
Is this the Diablo type deal?
Yeah. What Nintendo have just basically... I know that Square Enix developed it, and Nintendo are publishing it, but they should be going like a little bit... I mean, it's out tomorrow. Friday the 16th. Yeah, it's just appearing, and then I don't think it's going to disappear, because I'll tell you what, it's fucking great, but I'm starting to suspect that Nintendo are using it as an experiment, because the online functionality, it might as well as be on the 360. Within 5 minutes, within 2 minutes of me turning it on for the first time, I was in a game with some French guy. And we were playing alongside each other. The game is ugly as sin, and it's familiar as fuck. There's nothing original about it in the slightest. You've seen everything it does a million times before, but it's really, really good fun. And the online function, that's why I think they're testing the water, because you can jump into an online game in about 10-15 seconds, slightly longer than if you were on a console, but still for a 3DS it's impressive, and it's got full voice support without any need for friend codes or anything.
So you just talk at the 3DS?
You hold down the left trigger and speak, and then you can converse. I've been in a couple of other games where people were talking to each other and I didn't get involved because they were clearly friends and they knew what they were doing, and I was there and it was fine. The first guy I spoke to, a French guy, he was just blathering French stuff at me, and then he started swearing and stuff, and obviously I was doing something that upset him, so I just kept going, c'est la merde, which I thought at the time, because I'm an idiot, is you are shit, but it actually means this is shit.
It is the shit.
This is shit.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even insulting him. But yeah, and that's funny, because I was as anti those stupid Nintendo Wii friend codes as anyone, but as soon as I started playing this, I'm like, wow, fuck, what if some kid comes in and there's this French bastard swearing down the mic? But then again, what if they play COD on Xbox 360 and get called something,
exactly.
Blah, blah, blah. It's just really functional as fuck. I played a game earlier today where it was 4 of us taking on a Leviathan. Really, and no slowdown. I mean, as I said, it's a terrible looking game. It looks like shit. It looks like an N64 game. Really polygony faces. The areas aren't particularly varied. I mean, it's all just dungeons, not a lot of colour. But man, it's fucking fun. I wouldn't be surprised if this sort of really sort of takes off. I'm surprised Nintendo have such little faith in it. I said to someone from Nintendo, I said, when's it coming out in Japan? Because that could be huge. And they're like, yeah, well, I don't even think we've got a release date or even plans to release it in Japan. I'm like, what? They've just kind of dumped it, and seeing how well it works and how fun it is just fun. And there's elements of Zelda, there's elements of Diablo and sort of dungeon crawlers like that, but the dialogue, it's all set in the same kind of fucking Lord of the Rings, rubbish. But the dialogue's not portentous. It's not annoying. It's not overdone. I'm so impressed. I didn't expect to be, but man, this could be a surprise hit but no one knows it exists. That's the problem.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, I knew it existed, but I had no idea it was out this week.
If the friends that I game with all the time had 3DSs, I'd insist that they get it. Because going through it on 4 player, it's just fun, and it saves everything. It's got all the things you need, like RPG elements, fucking upgrading your shit, buying, selling stuff, looting everything. I mean, it hasn't got an original fucking bone in its body, but it's done really, really faultlessly. And online, jumping into a game and being with 3 other people and talking to each other on a 3DS, I'm like, fuck. That's why I think it might be an experiment. They might be seeing if people adapt to the lack of friend codes and how easy it is to use it to talk to each other. But whatever, it's fucking cool. And I'll tell you what, if you've got 3DS and that sounds like your bag, take the plunge. I've only played it for about 10-12 hours, but I'm enjoying it so much. Really am.
Was it Heroes of Ruin?
Fucking shithouse title, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know why they've dumped it. I don't know why they have no faith in it.
It does sound fun.
It is. It really is, mate.
Damn, that does sound fun.
It is.
Yeah, maybe. I might get involved.
Genuine.
I reckon our number ones are the same.
Yeah. Well, look at you asking.
Batters.
Of course.
Batters Close Quarters.
Batters CQ, yeah.
So, it's me first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody knows what it is, don't they? If they've listened to us, they probably do.
Yes.
4 new maps, 2 new modes, all based around close quarters gunplay in a way that's kind of different to anything that Battlefield's done before. It feels much more like Call of Duty. The main mode is domination from Call of Duty, basically, with 3 flags on the map. You're running around with your team trying to capture them. They capture very quickly, so it's got a lot of to and fro, battling over each flag. Then there's Gunmaster, which is a team-based version of gun game from Black Ops and Counter-Strike. I don't know why it's team-based.
No.
And then there's a bunch of new weapons and assignments, which are cool if you're really, really into the guns, but ultimately they're not going to change the way the game plays or anything like that. So how I thought that they've done a really, really bang-up job of making COD out of Battlefield, but I just don't know how long that appeal will last, because I wrote this in my review on Video Gamer. As good as it is, there's a reason that people play Battlefield instead of COD, and that's because COD just ain't Battlefield. It doesn't have that unscripted drama and all the war stories that you get yourself into, and this kind of didn't have it either for me.
Yeah. I found it really fun because it's Battlefield and I just love it, but fundamentally it doesn't really. I mean, it is fun, and I'm going to keep when we play. I bought a server the other day for like a month. I'm going to always mix in some close quarters game types.
That's the thing to do, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice little diversion because they're over so quickly as well. But fundamentally, when you're in Battlefield and you get into a gunfight and you're half dead. And in the normal game you can drop a health pack. In this you can't do that. Oh, can you?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of whatever that gun game.
The gun game you can't, but in the regular thing you can.
Yeah, sorry, I thought it was completely fucked up what I was going to say, because for some reason I thought gun game, the normal one doesn't have, you weren't allowed to drop health packs. But yeah, anyway, it happens so fast, and in Call of Duty you get your health back so quickly that even if you've got a health pack at your feet, it doesn't take that long, and the maps are so small, someone's going to come running around the corner. So I really enjoy it, but I don't think it works as.
It's not going to last till the next map pack comes out.
I think it will, but I'm only going to dip into it on occasion.
Yeah, in terms of dippage, but not in terms of just exclusively playing that.
No.
And obviously you can't do Rush or Conquest, main Rush and Conquest on these maps. They're not designed for that.
Big,
so it is almost like its own little expansion game that sits on its own, as opposed to a normal map pack where it's just a few new things chucked into the rotation.
Yeah, that's why they've said they don't call them map packs, they're called themed expansions. That's what they always keep calling them. The gun game in Black Ops was fantastic. I really, really loved that mode. This variant of it, aside from the fact that it's team-based, which makes no sense, the guns are too... The joy of gun game in Black Ops was that you didn't know how well everyone was doing, and so you'd have to... The weapons in that were so different that you knew where someone was at. Yeah. Whereas this, a lot of them, the shotguns all seem kind of similar. The sound all the same. The machine guns all the same.
Rifle, different assault rifle, different assault rifle.
Yeah. And you get that little thing whenever you die that shows where people are, which kind of ruins the tension a little bit, because you know, if you're towards the end and someone else is towards the end, it's like a mad race in Call of Duty, but it doesn't really happen here. I mean, again, it's fun because Battlefield is fun, but the real meat of what's coming is going to be the next packs. This is like a diversion that perhaps DICE did to appease EA, because it is just... People have called it the Call of Duty add-on, and that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. To me, it kind of felt like, you know, a sort of a little thank you to everyone who plays Battlefield for not going and playing COD. It's like, here you go, have a bit of COD for a bit, and then, you know, we'll be back to the big stuff soon, don't you worry.
And I don't want to undersell it. We had a lot of fun the other night.
I don't want to either. I had fun playing it.
Yeah, so it's definitely good. It's worth shelling out for, although I don't know how much it costs. We're all
premiumed up.
We're premiumed, but yeah, that was always going to happen. But yeah, very good, regardless.
Sweet. Well, yeah, that's it, isn't it?
It is.
That is. So thank you very much for listening, everybody. Massively appreciated. If you've not checked out the website, you should do. It's at thefiniteplaylist.com. Both our Twitters are on there. I'm John Denton. He's Chet Roivas. What else is there? We're now on Stitcher. I don't really know what Stitcher is, but I managed to get up the podcast on it. So if you know what Stitcher is, you can listen to us on there as well. I think it's better than all other things. Looks it anyway. And thank you very much to our boy Mitch Murder for the theme tune. We out. We'll be back next week.
C'est la merde.
Mamma mia! Mamma mia! Mamma mia! Mamma mia!